here. I'm on the board, serving as president of the Shasta County Fire Safe Council. And these educational meetings are put on by our Outreach and Education Committee, consisting of staff and board members. And by the way, if there are subjects that you need to know more about, are curious about, please let us know, because we can bring in experts, and it's all about trying to respond to the needs of the community. We've had a change today. Very last minute, we had billed this as a presentation of the county's Community Wildfire Protection Plan. You'll hear CWPP, all these acronyms. Because it hasn't been formally approved yet by the county, we found out rather late that we can't have that presentation. It'll probably be next time. But fortunately, Amanda, our county coordinator, is preparing you for that presentation with understanding the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, what it is and why it's so important to all of us. You'll get a picture next time, hopefully, of our worst fire risk, recommendations about how to handle them, and all of our grants have to tier to the Community Wildfire Protection Plan. So it's a really important document. So we're filling in a little bit this morning. We're also filling in with Pam Bates on our staff, who takes care of the Community Wildfire Mitigation Plan. Did I get that right? All these acronyms. So it's an important program that you can learn more about. Remember that we're approaching November, and for the FireWise leaders here, I was just thinking, you folks have more potential to reach the people we need to reach than any other single thing we do, more than showing up at fairs and handing out brochures. You have a tremendous leadership role to play, and a really important one, because this is about protecting communities. Just an individual house here and there is not going to help us face the future with fire. And as temperatures warm, that risk is not getting better, it's getting worse. But we know how to better face this. So with that, Rob, just so appreciate the use of these facilities for this important work.
I won't take too much of your time. I just wanted to welcome you to the station. I'm Rob Keenan, the general manager here. To echo something, I'll sort of echo what Barb was saying. We're trying to be better servants to our community, so if there is information that we need to get out about fire mitigation along those lines. I live out in Happy Valley, so weekly I get a watch duty alert that goes off, and I always, my phone, and I have to check it and have to see it. It takes me a half hour to get home. So I understand how that works, but I actually want to say a shout out to CAL FIRE, because they seem to be really on it. Fires don't seem to be getting as big as they used to, which is a great sign. So I wanted to welcome everybody here and also remind people that this facility is open to your groups and your meetings, and if you have something, if it's not conflicting with something we're doing, I'm going to welcome you to come in and use the facility. You can't just walk in, but you can schedule something for this or this room here, and I'm really happy to help the Fire Council actually have their meetings here. A couple things I want to bring up is, first of all, we are in an auction online, KIXE auction. Go to kixe.org, and right at the top of our website is a banner that says bid now, so click on it. We have hundreds of items, over 400 items that are available for bidding. And more importantly, coming on November 16th is the new Ken Burns American Revolution for 6 nights from Sunday through Friday at 8 o'clock. And tune in that should be a good one. So thank you, and I appreciate you here.
With that, by the way, we always follow our general meetings with a meeting of the FireWise leaders, And anybody interested in becoming FireWise or wanting to know about it, you're more than welcome. We just make a little circle and you're invited to observe. So with that, Ron Rustin, our executive director, does agency updates, and I don't know what happened. I see fewer agencies than we've ever seen here. Must be the season.
Thanks, Barb. Well, welcome everybody. Appreciate you coming to the meeting today, and I'll just give you a quick update on what's going on with the Shasta County Fire Safe Council. We're excited with the FireWise program and just everything that's going on there. We have one additional FireWise community from our last meeting, so now we're up to 16. So we're pretty excited about that. We've got a few more in the hopper. So hopefully that will continue to grow and to grow. And I just wanted to thank Amanda, our county coordinator. She was new at the last meeting and now she's really plugged in. I know she's reached out to a lot of you here, so I'm sure you know her name. We also have Lydia, who's our new outreach. She just stepped out. She probably knew I was going to mention her, so she stepped out real quick. But she's our new outreach coordinator, and she's doing a great job. She puts together, great content for us to make our website and the things that we put out look really good. So it's much. There's Lydia, our new outreach coordinator. So
just wanted to make an entrance.
it was a nice entrance. Good. That was good. So, with that, we through our Sierra Nevada Conservancy grant that we have. Allows us to build capacity. So, it's really helping us lay that foundation for our agency or for our organization to continue to grow and to do things. And through that, we've been applying for some grants, and one we've been talking about, the Community Wildfire Defense Grant through USDA. We're sad to say we did not get awarded that grant, so I wanted to pass that along to everybody. As well as Sierra Nevada Conservancy had a round of grants through Prop 4, the California Proposition 4. They got some money for that. We gave them a statement of interest for a fuel breakout on Donkey Mine Road, and they chose not to accept that one. So we're feeling a little down on that. We have talked to a lot of people, and they said, no, you're doing all the right things. You just need to keep plugging away at it and keep going. So we're thankful for the capacity building grant that'll allow us to continue to apply for different grants in the future as we go forward. We did apply for a small part of Backbone Ridge from Sugar Pine Camp up to McCandless Gulch Road. CAL FIRE is very supportive of that, so we're really hoping to get that awarded and then continue on Backbone Ridge there and finish it out, hopefully to Finders Ferry Road at some point. Through the capacity building grant through Sierra Nevada Conservancy, they're also giving us money to develop a project pipeline. And so Backbone is a part of that. The Donkey Mine Road fuel break is part of that. And we're kind of focusing in the Oak Run, Round Mountain, Montgomery Creek area with these grants, with Backbone, Donkey Mine. We're looking at Terry Mill Road as well, getting that one going. So we're really focusing on that area. With the Lassen Fire Council is doing a lot of work in the Shingletown, and so we're just kind of plugging that in. The reason we're staying in that east side area, for those on the west side that are saying, hey, what about us? We have to stay within the Sierra Nevada Conservancy boundary to lay out those projects, such as part of the grant. But we're still looking at other opportunities out there, and we want to move on with those as we can. Let's see, our chipping grant, everybody I'm sure is pretty familiar with our chipping grant. It's doing well. I think everybody's pretty well tied into, when each area, whatever zone you're in that has been developed, when those chipping things or events are available. If you're not, just go to our website, ask us, we can definitely get you that information. And again, it's doing well. I think we've, from the first year, we're going into our second full year of chipping, and I think we've tripled the amount of not only people who are registering, but the amount of material that's being chipped out there. So that's going really well. As Barb mentioned, the CWMP project, I'll let Pam, she's going to do an update on that a little later. That program's going really well. We just had a media day up in Whitmore last week that went real well. I don't know if anybody saw the little clips on the news, but it was that project's starting to really move forward now and rolling along, doing really well. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head. The only agency that we have here represented, I'm going to ask Sarah to come up and maybe give a little update on what's going on in the city of Reading. I know you're excited for it.
I know. I love my public speaking. Good morning. My name's Sarah Roth. I work for the Reading Fire Department, the fire prevention specialist. And I usually don't have too much, considering a lot of, the Firewise communities are out in the county. So our updates aren't always the most beneficial or helpful to, the groups that are here. But we are a part of, all Shasta County together. So for Reading and CAL FIRE, it is open burn season, and fire season is officially closed. So it is that time where the vegetation fire responses are slowed down. We have 1-engine responses, but obviously, like Barb had mentioned, we are coming up on that time of the year where those Santa Ana winds come up and everything. So still being vigilant and, educating is still just as important as it always is throughout the year. But also on that note, burning is always beneficial as long as you have the safe space for it. So take advantage. Plan for these upcoming things. Reading did receive a CBDG grant. That's 1.5 million. So it's a lot for specifically public outreach and education. So we're going to be hopefully working together with the Fire Safe Council, CAL FIRE, and a lot of those low-income at-risk areas to be able to put out some more information and education and get the words out. So hopefully Firewise is a great resource for so many people in the county and in Reading as well. Really working hard to be able to make these communities grow within the city of Reading, because obviously we can still have those large fires as well, just the same as the county, just given the right opportunity. So yeah, always grateful to be here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to talk to me afterwards. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Sarah. I guess one of the other things is, as Sarah was speaking, that kind of popped into my head. One of the other things with the new CWPP, even though it's still in review right now and not officially signed, one of the recommendations that they had in the CWPP was to develop a prescribed burn association. For Shasta County, we have prescribed burn associations kind of all around us, but we're kind of an island that doesn't have one right now. So we're looking into that. The CWPP recommends that we partner with Western Shasta RCD on that. So we've had meetings with them, and we're kind of looking at that so we can put together a proposal to take to our board and see if that's something that we want to be a part of. But I think that would be really beneficial for a lot of the Firewise areas, that maybe we could start doing some smaller prescribed burns to really help, maintain a lot of the work that's being done out there. So it's pretty exciting for us to kind of go down that road and kind of look at that and see what kind of opportunities are available in that. Outside of that, I guess I'll,
Another question. Do you know what the Forestry Department or CAL FIRE has in their plans, so that we don't, the company that did the CWPP came to one of our Firewise meetings, and they said, if you have any areas, circle them on the map, and I didn't really know. I just circled like Canyon or something like that. And
right.
2 months later, CAL FIRE had a grant and they cleaned up the area. And so it would be nice to know, that, and also I think someone showed up at our meeting and said there was a project to do Niles Canyon, but it was like a 5-year plan or something. Is there a way for us to be aware of what might be happening that we don't need to fund because it's being funded by someone else?
Great question. We have what we're, and it's been going for about a year and a half, a countywide fuels mitigation group, and we're bringing together all the partners that we're, just like this meeting, we try to bring in all the agencies and organizations out there that are doing fuels mitigation work. And we're getting to the point, instead of just doing updates, where we're going to start collaborating and looking. So we should be able to get that kind of information. We want to know what CAL FIRE is doing, or the Forest Service, or McConnell, or RCD, or whoever it may be out there. So we're not trying to double up the work like you were talking about. There's no reason for a FireWise community to say, hey, we need to focus and try to get a grant in this area when somebody else is already doing the work. So through that group, we're definitely looking at coming up with ways to not, duplicate or compete for the same ground for a different project. And that would be something, I guess, as we get the notes or the information, we're going to be putting it, on a website or a hub site. I know Amanda's working on that. That'll be accessible to, like, the FireWise communities, anybody who wanted to look, or a website, something to get that information out. But yeah, we are definitely looking at that. So, Barb, do you want to come back up and introduce, or am I taking?
Why don't you just go ahead?
Okay.
New county coordinator.
Yeah, just, we were going to talk about the CWPP. Since it's not signed, they didn't feel like that they should be really given an update on that until it's actually signed. So it was a last minute change for us. Amanda volunteered to really keep it on topic and talk about the CWPP toolkit. So she put together her and Lydia put together a nice little presentation. And Amanda, if you want to come up and take it on. Amanda, our county coordinator, and she's going to talk to us about the CWPP toolkit.
Hi there, good day folks. Thanks for joining us. I'm gonna sign on really quick so that way I am well prepared. Just to touch base on what you said just a moment ago. So FireWise communities, we're trying to right now try to be more organized. We know that there's many households in the communities that are spread out, and there's a lot of stuff going on and we don't know. So we are trying to coordinate that. The best way, which brought up by Barb, was to communicate with other FireWise organizations. So if you need to contact people within your FireWise community, the best way is obviously text, or you can form like you can log on to Google and get a free Gmail account, and then you can have a group email so that sends out to anyone in your community. So that would be the best way. There has been, that was original, I was supposed to touch base on that. There was an original plan to have websites for each group, but logistically that's just not going to be possible, because hopefully we're going to have a lot of FireWise communities, and that's way too many websites to manage, and we don't have the infrastructure in our community or in our organization to do that. So right now, my suggestion is to text, get out there, meet your neighbors, get them on the text group, or do email and send out that. If there is something obviously important, you can call us or call me, and I can try and coordinate that as well if it's an emergency. But we are working to get that better coordinated for the communities, to have an outreach. And so that way there's better communication and participation. What Ron had said is that the hub site. So I'm not going to bore you with the technological jargon, but we are moving towards not only just having a website, but having a data-driven site that is like open communication, open data. So when you are doing work or other organizations are doing work, that can be that source for showing that. So you could log on and be like, oh, what's happening here? And it's actually data that's like in real time. And to move forward on not just having our chipping program, understand that where these points are being taken at the households that are having chipping done, and like how much fuels work is being done there. But also if you guys wanted to record that would show that we're actually having a lot of cubic feet reduced in fuels. And so with that data, we show that to organizations that want to fund us, and that would actually be better. So we are moving towards that, and we appreciate your patience. And sometimes there's a lot of kinks to work out, so bear with us. And if, of course, you want to know anything more about that or how you can help, reach out to me. And then, like I said, so we did have a plan that we were going to have Nate Daly talk about the CWPP. I cannot text or type and do this, so hold on 2 seconds. I have to have a long password. Oh. So Nate Daly, if that's how you say his name, was supposed to come and talk about that. And of course, that changed because it's not finalized. And so I kind of had to pivot and, oh, not connected to the internet, of course not. We had to pivot and figure out what we could really do to have this meeting that kind of went over what's been going on. And with the CWPP, and my thought was to just kind of explain what it is, why it's important, and also for a portion of my grant that I'm funded so graciously from CAL FIRE, part of that is to introduce the California CWPP toolkit and why it's important to potentially adopt that. And on that note, there is, even though City of Reading has their CWPP, there are other organizations, there are other communities within the county that are forming their own CWPP. So if you're like, oh, this one's actually kind of taken a long time, it's very expensive, you can form your own. Big Bend, they have been working on theirs tirelessly for many months, and so they have their own, even though we do have one for the county that's supposed to come out. I apologize that this is, what, I'm sorry? I don't understand why this is taking a long time. I appreciate your patience. Does anybody want to come up and chat for a minute while I figure? Lydia, do you? Yes, please. It's not. It was working, but something shut down. Oh yes, that would be so amazing if Pam could come up here. I know she's not very happy with that, but we're teams. So while I get this working. Because honestly, it's quite a long presentation, and I could have memorized it if I had another week. Just kidding, but I don't. So, thank you, Pam. Let me just grab this. Thank you.
Mine is not a long presentation, so. My name is Pam Bates. I am a project manager with the Shasta County Fire Safe Council. I've been with the council since 2022. So, and this particular program that I'm going to just highlight really quickly, the Fire Safe Council has been involved with since 2022. So today I just wanted to briefly explain the California Wildfire Mitigation Program, CWMP. And the CWMP is in a pilot phase. 3 communities within California have been selected: Shasta County, Lake County, San Diego County, and they were primarily selected because they are very, very high risk areas. And FEMA and Cal OES identified these areas very strategically. And I guess Barb had mentioned about the campfire, and these were kind of selected because they represented kind of what the next campfire might look like. They're very high risk, they're very remote, not a lot of resources. So the CWMP is a partnership between Cal OES and Cal Fire. It is funded through legislation, AB 38, I think. And the whole idea is to provide home hardening and defensible space for middle to low income homeowners in these high risk areas. So you may not have heard about this program because it is still in the pilot phase. So the 3 areas within Shasta County that we are focusing on are Lakehead, Oak Run, and Whitmore. So we started out in Whitmore, and I think we started about 2 years ago, reaching out to homeowners in Whitmore, having them apply for the program. And for the last couple of years, it's taken a while to get this program off the ground. This program has nothing like this has ever existed in the state of California, or pretty much anywhere. So working with Cal OES and CAL FIRE, we've had to develop everything from what are the standards we're going to meet. So CAL FIRE has been they have developed a minimum quality standards that comply with the latest IBHS fire science standards. It's like defensible space and home hardening on steroids, the best of the best that you could possibly meet. So we've developed the standards, like how do you assess a home? We have to have people trained to do these assessments. How do you record it? What kind of metrics? How much does it cost? So from the very beginning of just an idea to where we are now has taken about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. So we are actually at the point where we have hardened 17 homes, and by the end of November, we will have 31 homes done, and those are in Whitmore, Oak Run, and we have 2 that just came online in Lakehead. So this program is funded 25% Cal OES, 75% FEMA. So the fact that we have to work within the FEMA framework, that federal funding, it puts a very heavy burden on any organization that's involved. There's always additional steps we have to take. There's environmental reviews that kind of come into play. So for us to work on a home, FEMA has done a very high level review of those 3 areas. And that high review has identified specific locations that don't have biological concerns, or there's no archaeological sites, or there's other kind of flags that would prevent us from just starting work. And so within those 3 areas, they've identified 144 parcels that we can just get going. For the people who apply for the program who are not among that 144, we do that additional assessment that FEMA is requiring us to do. We have the biologist review review the property, and we compile all that data, that information, and then it has to go to FEMA to review, and then FEMA would give us their blessing to let us work on those homes. So it's been and again, the pilot nature of this phase is identifying those problems. It's identifying where these roadblocks are. How can all these agencies communicate with each other? Because the Fire Safe Council is a small nonprofit that is extremely nimble, that we are partnering with Western Shasta RCD. They provide a lot of the staff, a lot of the expertise. So as a model, they're looking at us going, hey, how do nonprofits fit into this program? And they see us as truly a success, because some of the other communities are embedded in like a fire district, or they're part of a county office, and they have those additional administrative burdens of layers of administrative approvals and bureaucracies and such, and we're just so flat that we're doing very, very well. So we're, as far as nonprofits heading up this type of project, I think we're demonstrating that we work, especially with RCD as our partner. It's a really good, a very good team. So so far we have been kind of laying a little low as far as advertising the program. If we were to go out and say, hey, we got this great program, everybody sign up, we would be disappointing a lot of people. And we really don't want to overpromise and underperform. But it's really important that we get as many eligible homeowners to participate. Like I said, we are at about 30 homes that we've been able to assess, and we've done the hardening and defensible space. But we just need more, because we're really trying to demonstrate our effectiveness, and also we're collecting a tremendous amount of metrics as to what does it cost, how do you communicate with homeowners, what are their tax implications. So we provide CAL FIRE and Cal OES a lot of data, like how many staff members how many hours a week do they need, how much travel does it cost to go? You know, so there's so much information that's being collected that will allow us or the program to be rolled out to a much larger population. So we hope to be able to extend this out to more people in Shasta County, but their idea at the state level, they want to roll it out to the entire state. So right now there's like only 3 communities that are part of the FEMA Cal OES partnership, but there are additional, I think there's about 5 or 6 other communities that are coming online. El Dorado, Siskiyou, there's several that are coming online, but we're part of the very beginning. We are the ones that develop the program. We're the ones that you have to have a contract. What kind of contract? What does that look like? Who signs the contract? Do you have enough contractors? Are they trained? It's just never ending as to what we're learning. So if you've, especially Whitmore, I don't know if there's anybody from Whitmore here, but I know Oak Run, Cindy's here. It's really important for us to try to get as many homeowners as possible to enroll in the program so that we can prove that we can do this. And the response so far from the homeowners has been really great. Everybody is very, very happy with the outcome. So the process essentially is a homeowner will apply, and if you are in that pre-selected area, then we call you and we set up an appointment to do an assessment of your home. And the assessment team is mostly Western Shasta RCD employees, and they come out with their iPad and they have like a whole process that they go from side to side to side of the home, and they're looking at 100 feet of defensible space and hardening of the home. And that hardening can include vents, enclosed eaves, a lot of caulking around doors and garage doors and such, a lot of screening around decks, some replacement of boards on the deck where it interfaces with the home. There's a whole slew of very, very specific retrofits that are tied to the latest science that there is out there. And it also changes. So if CAL FIRE, for instance, in theory, they have a quality standard that we can't actually build that, or that material doesn't exist, or so our contractors are actually providing that feedback to CAL FIRE, saying this is great on paper, but it's not implementable. So the home hardening, we pretty much got that pretty dialed in right now, but it's always this changing thing. So you will get an assessment of your home, and then we create a scope of work that is specific to your home, and we walk around with you and tell you this is what we're going to do here, and the homeowner has 100%. Either they have to approve everything. We do have limits as to what can be declined. So if somebody says, I really love this pine tree right against my house because it gives me great shade, and they're going to die on that hill, we're just going to have to say this may not be the program for you. And we do have a couple of folks that are a little hesitant to changing maybe the way that, something looks on their house or some vegetation. We've had people leave the program because they are absolutely against removing any vegetation in the 0 to 5 zone. And we all know that 0 to 5 is extremely critical. So again, we try to educate and communicate as best as possible, but everybody is, they can either comply or participate, or they don't have to. And a lot of times we'll say, hey, we can transplant those roses. We'll transplant them over there. And oh, okay, so we work with you and do our best to try to accommodate. This is your home, and we understand that, and we will always be flexible to a certain extent. So once the scope of work is written, we bring our contractors. We have a very solid team of very experienced contractors that they can do this work in their sleep now. It's fantastic. They're very fast too. And it'll be bid competitively, and then we select the contractor, And the contractors, we always start with defensible space. So the defensible space crew will come out and do that 100 feet of defensible space. And then that's always followed up with the hardening. And then there's inspection that our team does. We photograph everything. All of this information is uploaded into a portal that's maintained by KIXE. All of our documents, every single photo, every receipt, every contract, it's all uploaded. All that data is collected and it's analyzed. We meet monthly with the state, and we give them feedback, and they review our stuff and have a lot of questions. And so it's an ongoing learning process. But at the end of the day, these homeowners are left with a true sense of safety compared to what we were before. We did have our very first media day. We had a homeowner, Kelly, out in Whitmore off of South Cow Creek Road. And she allowed us to come in to have KIXE and CAL FIRE's media team. It was a machine like I have never seen before. These people know how to do media and outreach and information officers, and we probably had about 50 OES and CAL FIRE folks, plus we had some of our FireWise community members. We were invited to view the home. It was a really big event. It was much bigger than I expected in Little Shasta County, but all of that content, they interviewed, our contractors gave tours and interviewed a lot of the team and some of the other specialists, and all of that content is being recorded, and so that they can promote the program even further. And so it was a really great day, and I was very proud of our Shasta County team, because we really shine in this program. And so I was hoping to be able to at least get some of that information on the program to the 3 community. If the FireWise leaders are here today, I can give you some flyers, and we can keep those, if you can share them with your community. And we will be reaching out more broadly to the area. We have a list. We know where those homes are. We know those addresses that FEMA, they're just addresses on a piece of paper. That's all we know. And we don't know if they're occupied. We don't know if they don't want us to talk to them, if they have big, mean dogs. We just don't know. They're just, so it would be really helpful for us we've communicated with all of those folks. We have sent them mailers. We've given them door hangers on their gates and their doors. So we've done a very, very pinpointed, focused outreach. But we're now thinking if we could throw a wider net, then we might legitimize the program. Like, people actually see it, they know it, they see the work done on their neighbor's home. We might be able to get some more of those folks to participate in the program. And if we do get folks that participate or that apply who aren't in those specific areas, we are retaining those records, because we have applied for additional funding. We're actually we're going through the process of applying for additional funds, working with the state to secure some of they would be through FEMA, which is kind of a nightmare right now. So it may take it's not a matter of months before that funding. It's like 2 years before that might eventually come in. But the idea is, if we have a lot of people that really want to get this work done, that want to be part of the program, we hope to be able to retain those records and that interest and parlay that into a future program. And it also allows us to apply for other grants that aren't federally funded or that aren't FEMA related. The Community Wildfire Defense Grant, for instance, that we were just declined on, but that was part of our focus with that. We have FireWise communities, great, but we also have this other program that we already have a pool of people that want to participate, that are interested, that we are ready to go. We have a team that is shovel ready. We can get your application, we have the contractors, we can, so it's not just waiting for FEMA to throw us a bone here and there. We have a solid program that is ready to roll out when that funding and the timing is right. So anyway, I thank you for your time, and I have some flyers, and I'll leave them over there on the table. And I'm happy to come out to any of those 3 community areas to help, give you information, go to your Firewise meetings, whatever you need. So, sure.
Contact information if someone wanted to call and apply with you is on that.
Yes, yes, it's on our website. There's a QR code, and there's also a phone number. Western Shasta RCD, they are the homeowner outreach point of contact. So everything goes through them, but it's all on there. So, and you can apply and just find out, like, if you could find out whether or not you are in that list or not. We'll let you know.
Sam,
Thank you.
one last question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Of the 31 homes you've done, give us an idea of what roughly it costs per home.
Yeah, so on average, the defensible space portion is about $4,700, and the average of the home hardening is about $40,000. So it's significant. Our goal is about $45,000 per home. So, and again, that's funded by FEMA and Cal OES. And there is some cost share based on income. So if you have a significant income, you may be required to contribute 10%, perhaps 25%, but they just passed legislation to put a cap on that at $3,000 because we were losing people. You have $50,000 worth of work done and you don't have $5,000 laying around. So they're working really hard to try to make it affordable for those middle, low income folks.
Where does the Shasta County permits come in with the home hardening part of the roofs and the windows?
To date, we haven't been required. We have been working with the county. They are aware of our program. We've given them our MQSs. We haven't the work has been maintenance mostly, like replacing gutters. But when it comes to roofs, we did do our first roof, and our contractors, they do go through the county to get those permits.
Okay, they are permitted.
Yes, absolutely. They are permitted, and when they need to be, our contractors take care of those permits. And another feature of this program, and this came through with legislation as well, is that any improvements that are done to your home are exempt from being taxed. It's not considered taxable income. That was a big concern from a lot of homeowners, and it doesn't affect your value basis on your property insurance or taxes, property taxes as well.
The other question is, do those hours and that money apply to the Firewise worksheet hours?
No, because they're not done by the homeowner.
So
And they're not paid for by the homeowner. But that's a good question if your cost share might contribute towards it.
The cost share would be.
I can find out about that, yeah.
But not the whole amount?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for
Pam, I just wanted to take this public opportunity to thank you for your leadership with a very difficult program, with a lot of twists and turns. It's not easy dealing with FEMA, et cetera. And we're getting to the point we have some real benefits to see. And another plug for Firewise. This, as you can see, this work is expensive, but you can reduce the risk. I've seen data, even by doing the 0 to 5, you can reduce the risk of losing your home to wildfire by maybe 50%. And the Firewise communities have an opportunity to set up volunteer programs. A lot of minor work can make a major difference. Again, Firewise leadership. So Amanda.
Thank you, Barb, and thank you, Pam. Thank you, audience, for your patience. There's always got to be a problem with technology, right? Okay, so we have two different subjects, understanding the CWPP, and that's supposed to be rolled out hopefully soon. It's in the hands of the county. And then the other one is the California CWPP Toolkit. So a community wildfire protection plan, CWPP, is a planning document that is focused on reducing the wildfire risk and helping communities become more resilient. These plans bring together our local governments, fire departments, CAL FIRE, fire safe councils, and community members to identify their wildfire hazards and set priorities and guide projects that make our communities safer. The CWPPs aren't just documents. They're actually working guides that help implement these real projects and align with the local efforts with state and federal priorities. Under the Healthy Forest Restoration Act of 2003, projects listed in a CWPP get priority for many grants, and cost share programs. So very good. CWPPs also complement other local plans, like the Local Hazard Mitigation Plan, the Safety Element, that's in the General Plan, and the Unit Fire Plan, providing a focused approach to wildfire risk that strengthens broader community planning. Slide 3. Since our last CWPP was in 2016, Shasta County has faced several fire seasons and then massive changes in our vegetation patterns. With the increased development in our WUI, which is the wildland-urban interface, our old plan does not fully capture these new realities that we're facing. So the Western Shasta RCD, they are leading the update on the CWPP. With the help of the consultants of Deer Creek that was supposed to be presenting today, their efforts are both data-driven, providing maps, and community-driven. So combining updated fire behavior modeling and the mapping tools with your local knowledge and that shape priorities. The updated plan focuses on practical actions that make a real difference. Expanding and maintaining fuel breaks, supporting home hardening projects, and improving evacuation routes. The goal is to ensure Shasta County communities are even better prepared to live safely with wildfire now and for our future. Slide 4. The CWPP update follows a clear step-by-step process, stakeholder engagement, risk assessment, priority areas, public review, and the final plan approval. Using the CAL FIRE CWPP toolkit, which is the California CWPP, ensures that these plans meet statewide standards and also aligns with the funding requirements and provides consistent guidance for our communities. So each step combines technical data with community input to produce a plan that is both practical and actionable. Over the past 20 years, the CWPPs in California have evolved. Some communities developed highly effective plans, while others struggled without consistent guidance. To address this, CAL FIRE and the Office of the State Fire Marshal created the California CWPP Toolkit. This toolkit provides a standardized care, guide, templates, and examples to help communities create their own CWPPs that are practical and consistent, and also aligning with these state expectations. So it empowers local leaders and community leaders with the tools and resources they need to start and update their plans confidently. This toolkit also supports California's broader wildfire resilience strategy, directing and fulfilling the Action 2.6 of the California Wildfire and Forest Resilience Action Plan. And this also strengthens our connection to the state and federal funding and these technical resources. The toolkit has 3 primary components: the guide that outlines the process and the requirements, a best practices guide with proven strategies from other communities, and a resource library with outreach tips, the CEQA guidance, and consultant support and funding information. Together, these components help that the CWPPs are actionable, measurable, and locally owned, providing communities with a clear path from planning to implementation. So developing a CWPP is a collaborative effort. Local government and the fire authorities and CAL FIRE all play critical roles to ensure that these plans are practical and coordinated. So community engagement is critical. You guys are the lifeblood. So residents, HOAs, FireWise groups, these should have meaningful opportunities to share input on priorities, local risks, and projects. The engagement is not only essential for transparency, but also for future funding eligibility. Crucial. Once a plan is complete, it is submitted to the local CAL FIRE unit or the contract county fire chief or the OSFM, Community Wildfire Preparedness and Mitigation Division, for review and acknowledgement. Every CWPP includes a few foundational elements. First, we start with a clear assessment of wildfire hazard and risks. This means identifying areas and assets and values that are at most risk using the latest data and mapping tools to guide our analysis. Next, the plan outlines an action plan with prioritized projects. These can include fuel reduction efforts, home hardening, and other measures to reduce wildfire risks. Each project should note who is responsible, when it will happen, and how progress will be measured. Finally, the CWPP describes the community's wildfire response and suppression capabilities. This includes fire protection areas, the roles of local districts, and how mutual aid is coordinated. Together, these components ensure that a plan is not just a document, but it's a practical roadmap for real action and is a living document. Beyond the minimum requirements, there are several best practices that make a CWPP more effective. Aligning the plan with local and regional plans, like the local hazard mitigation plan or the general plan, helps prevent duplication and keeps efforts consistent. County level leadership is important for coordinating smaller jurisdictions, fire districts, and firewise communities. Equally important in engaging the whole community and making sure this input is inclusive and reflects a wide range of perspectives and needs. Finally, tracking projects and reporting progress is key. Regular updates keep mitigation efforts visible, build accountability, and help maintain momentum. When residents and agencies see results, it encourages ongoing participation and strengthens our resilience. The CWPP Toolkit includes a section on practical resources that helps communities moving forward in that planning, then taking it into action. It offers guidance on designing effective outreach and engagement activities so that the public understands this plan and feels ownership in its success. There are also sections that help clarify important technical topics such as CEQA, so compliance, working with consultants, and identifying those appropriate funding sources. Communities can use these materials to ensure their CWPPs are both compliant and achievable. Older CWPPs, like ours, do not need to be retroactively approved in our new system, but CAL FIRE encourages communities to review them periodically and to make sure that they still reflect the current risks, the development, and our fire behaviors that we're seeing. Updates that might need after major wildfires, significant growth in the WUI, or changes in local partners and funding sources like we're seeing now. So the local CAL FIRE unit chiefs and contract county fire chiefs, they have points of contact for technical support, and their role is to help communities navigate these questions and provide feedback and assist with this planning and other development. Our county is already making this progress. So the RCD, as you know, is leading the county-wide CWPP for Shasta County with the help of the consultants from Deer Creek Resources, and while the City of Reading has completed its own plan for 2024. Both of these efforts follow the same structure and standards set by the California CWPP Toolkit. So we want to make sure that the other rural communities are part of this momentum. So FireWise leaders can help provide their neighbor with aligning with the county and the plan and beginning their own localized CWPPs as a toolkit, as a template. By doing this, we create consistency across the entire county, improve coordination between the agencies and the leaders, and strengthen our eligibility for more resilient Shasta County. Develop and maintaining a CWP is not a one-time project, unfortunately. It is an ongoing community effort that depends on participation from residents, our leaders, and local agencies. Every voice matters, from homeowners maintaining the defensible space around their homes and organizing these fuel reduction projects. The California CWPP Toolkit gives us a roadmap for this consistency and this effectiveness. So again, our goal is to aligning with it and not just improving our local plans, but also connecting them to the broader outwork that's going on to statewide support within our state. The most important step next is stay engaged. Don't let it overwhelm you. Attend public meetings like you are, and share information with your neighbors and encourage them to register for emergency notifications. Hopefully that's not one. And together we can make our communities remain safe and resilient. So I would like to open the floor to any questions that you may have. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm providing information. And this information will be found online. We will provide a copy of the CWPP Toolkit and a link for all the information. It's tons of valuable resources and printable templates and whatnot. So thank you.
What's your web address that we would look this stuff up on?
So here we have one. It's the osmfire.gov or osfm.fire.ca.gov, and this is the
Tiny little bit slower.
Amanda, I'm gonna make this presentation live on our website, so that, you know, I know that the font was a little small,
Just
so
the
you could
regular,
read it, yeah. And
Shasta
so
County
it's
Fire
gonna be
Safe.
under the fire, Shasta, our website, under the Firewise Leader Meetings.
Okay.
And, maybe I can also send it out in an email, to the people who attended, so you guys have access to this, the 3 links at the bottom,
Okay.
with more information.
yes. Any other questions? Thank you, Barb. Thank you for your attention.
And thank you, Amanda, for stepping into our void here. So I think it's time for our Firewise community leaders. Again, spread the word to your neighbors and friends. We have Lydia, we have Amanda, we have staff now. We can help you build Firewise communities. And as Ron said, we have 16 and we need more. We have very few in the urban areas, as if they aren't at risk. We all are at risk. So let's take a little coffee break while we rearrange some chairs, and anybody's invited to stay for the Firewise Leaders meeting. And next presentation will probably be Deer Creek Resources, who's actually done this, that can be very specific about our risks and the actions called for. We may even have an update on the Prescribed Fire Association recommendation, which we're exploring now. Okay, coffee break.